Let's get to the games. We'll start with, of course, the Raiders and Cowboys because we are, of course, a CBS sports program. And that's the Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson special. The Cowboys are 7.5-point favorite. Over under is 50.5. Sully, your thoughts on this spread and the total? The total's dropped 0.5 point. Spread is went down to 7, came back up to 7.5. Very interesting.
The totals dropped considerably. I think the look ahead was, I think, around 55, 54.
Oh, wow.
So it's
and it should be noted, Amari Cooper is officially out for this game. I believe he's unvaccinated, so it's like he's literally not like he had a 10-day window where he's not eligible to play. And then CeeDee Lamb I don't think is officially out as of Wednesday morning, but we should assume that he is out. So it's probably going to be Cedric Wilson and
Michael Gallup.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz.
Yep,
that's probably why the total dropped. Anyhow, that's your thoughts.
That's probably the biggest one. But I like the Cowboys in this -7.5, and it really has more to do with the Raiders more than anything else. This losing skid, they just haven't looked great. I mean, they've lost 3 straight, and it's one of those things where they're not just like losing these games. They look like a completely different team than we saw at the beginning of the year. They're averaging 14.3 points per game over this streak. That's the 4th lowest in the NFL over that time. And then when you look at the defensive side of the ball, they're allowing almost over 30 points a game. It's just a really bad sign for them. And when you have Dallas, who has been up and down over these last few weeks, struggled offensively against Kansas City at Arrowhead, they play much better at home. They're 6-1 in their last 7 home games against the spread. I just really like a bounce back opportunity for them.
7, man, I feel like I'm being tricked. I'm going to go get this out there. The 2 things I did on Tuesday night after, by the way, you want to get your loved one something nice for Christmas? May I recommend Chattanooga whiskey?
Ooh,
I did. So I did this bourbon review on Tuesday night with the guys from Breaking Bourbon, and oddly enough, the way it happened is Nick, who runs Breaking Bourbon, is good friends with Ryan Wilson, and Wilson told us like, yeah, Brinson, total douchebag, loves bourbon. It'd be great for your podcast. But I went to high school in Chattanooga. We tasted their stuff. It is fantastic. Highly recommended. But after the Chattanooga bourbon tasting, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make some parlays and make my picks for Thanksgiving. I'm parlaying all the unders. Under 51 is down another 0.5 point for this game. Under 41.5 for Bears Lions, and under 45.5 for Bills Saints. 3-game parlay pays out like 5 standard 3-game parlay because this is -110. I don't think we see a ton of scoring on Thanksgiving. We see some lethargic teams. We're talking about Andy Dalton versus Jared Goff, Derek Carr, who's been not very good the last few weeks, versus Dak Prescott, who's missing his top 2 receivers, and a team that can run the ball really well. If Tyron Smith is in there, we believe he will be. And then the Bills are the one I'm worried about because they might throw up points, but I like all the unders. I also parlayed Cowboys money line. Let's see exactly what this is paying out. Cowboys money line, Bills money line, Lions money line. So you get in, and that's paying 1.5 units to win 5. So you get the Lions, and then you're sort of feeling like it's everything else is gravy. I agree with you. I think the Cowboys are in a good spot here. I feel like I'm being tricked into taking the Raiders +7.5. That hook is just sort of lingering out there. Las Vegas has been bad the last 2 weeks. It's very clear that Derek Carr, Henry Ruggs not being on the field is a problem for him. The vertical element to their game has disappeared. Deshaun Jackson, if he catches that ball, maybe he's just not. It's not the same thing. Like you're talking about an older player. And God, I'm taking the Raiders with the hook, but I ain't happy about it. You might be right here. The Cowboys just might get right without their top 2 receivers on Thanksgiving against the Raiders. But 7.5 is just too much. It's just too much.
It's a big number, but again, they're at home. It's a big spot. They're coming off that really just perplexing night against the Kansas City Chiefs where they just managed all field goals and they just really couldn't get anything going. I just feel like they get right in this one. As much as Amari Cooper is a factor and as much as CeeDee Lamb's certainly a factor, Michael Gallup's a good receiver. Cedric
Very
Wilson's
receiver.
a good receiver. Schultz has proven to be one of the better tight ends. They obviously have a great backfield with Zeke and Tony Pollard. There are weapons there to be able to put up points. And then when I look at that defense going up against a really just lost Raiders team, Cowboys number 4 in the NFL in DVOA, yeah, that's a huge number, especially with that hook. Don't feel great about it, but I don't really want to put my money on the Raiders at this point, just by the way they've been playing over the last few weeks. But I'm with you on the unders. I like all the unders here. We were in total agreement.
Which is very odd that we like all the unders. You and I are not
that's a scary
unders
proposition.
Guys.
No.
Like, we usually get on this Monday or Thursday podcast. It's like, oh, what overs? What prop overs are we taking now? Zeke Elliott upgraded to a full participant in practice on Tuesday. Tristan Hill also full practice. CeeDee Lamb did not practice. The biggest injury of all, in my opinion, Tyron Smith. Like, when he doesn't play, the Cowboys are offense kind of falls off a cliff. He was upgraded to full participant practice on Tuesday. Cedric Wilson as well. So you're going to have 3 capable receivers, a starting left tackle. Zeke is back. Like, this is why I like the under in this game. They could just pound the ball and let Dak take a couple play action shots to Gallup or Schultz, melt that clock, force Derek Carr to try to be aggressive without an actual deep threat, let that secondary sort of prey on that while Michael Parsons rushes the passer. And man, all of a sudden, like, I'm probably not betting the side on this. I have to pick it for CBS and for picks pools. So I'm going Raiders because it's 7.5, but I'm starting to think I don't like it.
And to that point, when you're talking about, the under and how this could really be a backfield game for Dallas, this will roll into our props here. It's why I like Zeke's over on his rushing yards. If you look at what the Raiders have given up over the season, 132-point run rushing yards per game. That's 29th in the NFL. And that's even worse over this losing streak here, 134 yards over the last 3 weeks on the ground they've allowed per game. It's just... They are very leaky, into opposing backfields. It's just it's a bad spot for them here, especially with Zeke and Pollard.
Should we be concerned that Debo is producing this show? Of course, we love Debo, and Debo loves the fact that you just segued into the props. Should we be concerned that Debo didn't prepare a graphic with our individual props picks like Chris does?
I know.
What's
going on?
I'm thankful for all my producers, but just saying. I'm kidding. So you like the over on Zeke Elliott rushing yards as a prop in this game, I take it.
Yep.
Okay. I was feeling frisky last night. I sent an email with Dak over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It may have moved up. There's no reason this should be 1.5. Like, the Raiders defense is not good enough that this should be 1.5. It should be 2.5. If it's 2.5, I'm not taking it, obviously. But Dak passing touchdowns over 1.5. If it's still, it's minus 180 now. It's so expensive. We're down 2 units on the email I sent in. We'll just do one. Just do one. You don't need to. If you're betting $100, you're risking 180. There's no reason to risk $360, and all of a sudden the Cowboys win by 15 points, and it's like all Zeke Elliott. You can't just do a single unit on that. I also have Dalton Schultz over 50.5 receiving yards. Tony Pollard over 13.5 receiving yards. That Dalton Schultz is going to move. So you probably want to bet that now. I don't know.
That's already moved. I sent it last night. It was 49.5. So that thing has been going up.
It moved. Man, Sully really moving the lines here. You said 49.5. I get it 50.5. Let's see if we got. I'm trying to see. We should have. Oh yeah, I got over unders now. Let me see what I got for. Okay, I'm trying to see what I got for receiving yards. Because the reason usually once they're available on this local I got here, they're widely available. Obviously, you can bet them at Caesars right here. Tony Pollard up to 16.5. F you, Caesars. I got 13.5. I still like that. I think he'll catch. I think he'll catch at least 2 passes, and that should get him easily over that number. I still got 14.5 here. That's a bet right now. But yeah, so I like the Tony Pollard over receiving yards in this game, and also Zeke under 2.5 catches. Ezekiel Elliott under 2.5 catches plus 140. Now, the risk of this is that, it's Thanksgiving and Zeke's whole thing is the eating and whatnot. And this is a Zeke Elliott holiday. Like it just feels like a Zeke Elliott holiday. But I'm going to take the under on his receptions at plus money because I think it's very possible that as a 7.5 point favorite, the Cowboys get up big, decide to pound the ball, and that it'll be Tony Pollard in there catching passes. Minus 170 on the over petrifies me for some reason. What about first touchdown in this game for you? Or do you have any more props? Sorry,
I got one more prop for you. I was with you on Schultz. Definitely love that one. It's the Raiders. He's third on the team in targets, and the other two guys might not play in this. So
somebody's getting 75 yards for the Cowboys, and it's probably Dalton Schultz.
Exactly. The other one, it's on the other side of the ball. Raiders over Josh Jacobs, 3.5 receptions. That's at plus 120, or at least when I put it in. He's been pretty interesting in terms of a pass catcher over the last few weeks. He had a season high, 7 targets last week. He's gone over this number in 3 straight games, 5 of the 8 games he's played this season. He's a factor in their passing game right now. And so if all of a sudden I can get that at plus money and he's trending in that direction, I love that.
Okay. Look at us. Plus money over and an under. Ooh.
What are we doing on this holiday?
Look at holiday frisky, apparently. All right. First touchdown score. Gross. Zeke Elliott. Actually, you know what? Zeke at plus 430 is not actually that bad considered like relative to how these markets are moving. This might be the play. If they're going to shrink all these odds on us, maybe we start hammering the obvious guy. Just do instead of betting 3 guys at 10 to 1 or better, we just take Zeke at plus 430.
Well, you did that last week, right? Or on Monday, right? You had Godwin. That was one of the more obvious guys.
I did have Godwin. Yeah. And actually added it at the last second. So I actually made money on that. I had, for my list, I think I had Waller and Schultz at 10 to 1. As you can see, as of this morning, they have come down. Just 2 teams that use a tight end a lot. Basically, the number 1 targets for both of these quarterbacks in this particular game. If this is a case where they get down to, if the Cowboys or Raiders get down to the 1 yard line, they're going to run the ball if it's on first down. But I'm looking at this as maybe they get like a 1st and goal from the 7 and try and get it in the hands of somebody, a very capable pass catcher. So I will take both tight ends. How about you?
I'm going to go with, I like that, obviously. I was big on Schultz, and Waller's obviously one of the best. I like Tony Pollard 10 to 1. He's just going to be a factor, whether it's in the passing game or on the ground. He could easily rip one off. The other one that is a dart throw, and it's a dart throw, is Derek Carr 40 to 1.
Love it.
To get the first touchdown. He's had rushing touchdowns in the last 3 seasons coming into this year. He had 3 rushing touchdowns last season, 0 so far in 2021. This is a desperate Raiders team. They were starting off the year pretty hot, feeling themselves, battling for first place in the AFC West. Now they're sitting at 500. They are in full desperation mode. And I think Derek Carr really feels that in this game, especially going up against a premier Dallas team, big stage, Thanksgiving. They're going to throw the kitchen sink, and it wouldn't surprise me if he starts throwing his body around a little bit more than we're even used to.
And it's so easy to picture Derek Carr with his hand out and the ball extended unnecessarily across the goal line. And it's spicy. He's like, yeah, loses his mind.
I'd be doing the same thing if all of a sudden I had him on 40 to 1.
That's true. Yeah, actually, I'm going to bet that just so I'm not mad when it happens. All right.